It's the afternoon of day 2 of Breakout, the biggest board game convention in Canada. Welcome to Brains on Games. I'm Dr. Brian McDonald, and this episode I'm very excited to be joined by none other than the Tabletop Bellhop,
Moe T. I am Moe Tuzano, the Tabletop Bellhop, your cardboard concierge, working with you to make your game nights better.
It's almost like you've said those words before.
Yeah, just a few times, many times over the last 7 years.
So tell the people what you do, Mo.
So the Tabletop Bellhop is a website and podcast where we answer game and game night questions. We are the Dear Abby for gamers. People send us game and game night questions, and we answer them on our live show, which is streamed on Twitch on Wednesdays, but don't put any money on that because this year's been rough. But we record live, and we answer game and game night questions. But we're also just board gamers who love board games, and we do all the stuff you expect on every gaming podcast, like talk about what we've been playing. We review games, we do unboxing videos. But the most important thing is answering your questions.
Wow. Now, you're a busy guy. I was surprised that we got to see each other today. I was looking forward to meeting Mo. I didn't even know he was coming, and then I saw a post of him in the car with a bunch of games in the trunk. But when I first started Brains on Games, like Mo's website and the pictures I would see on the socials were kind of an inspiration that made me say, maybe I could do something with board games. Now, I started Brains on Games during the pandemic when I couldn't work at my real job. So I created a job of being a psychologist who reviews board games. But Mo was one of the inspirations for that. So I'm super excited to have him along with me today and to introduce him to all of you.
And I gotta say, like that's just awesome. Like I'm humbled in a way.
Oh.
We got along really well. I always felt like yours was kind of like on YouTube. You're like a sister channel. We kind of know each other. We interact, comment on each other's stuff, and we were interacting quite often. But I had no idea we were a direct inspiration. So I gotta say, it's awesome because you've gone on to do great things, and I still enjoy your show. I love the educational perspective you put to it, and the fact you're a trained psychologist. You're not just talking. Like you know what you're talking about, and I love how you feature like what parts of your brain are going to get activated during each game, and that like to me it's a fascinating to watch.
It's wow, I appreciate that, Mo, coming from you especially. It's been a real. I never dreamed that this would be something that I would ever do. So it's been an exciting situation for me. This is my third board game convention. Only my third. I've only been to the Canadian ones, but I kind of like, supporting the Canadian conventions and talking about those because you don't see much news, I would say, about those Canadian events. And this is our biggest one. So we arrived on Thursday night just so that we could ease in to our day and we could meet up with the media organizers and set up some meetings with the game publishers. And you came yesterday.
Yeah, we drove up yesterday, left home, I don't know, 8, 9 in the morning. I don't even know. And then drove up from Windsor, Ontario. That's where I'm from, South Detroit. Came up here and checked in, got into the hotel room. Unfortunately, my wife's not feeling very well, or she'd be with us right now on the show because I like having her voice on as well as just mine. Unfortunately, she's not feeling too well, and brought my daughter to her first ever board gaming convention. So a credit to Breakout Con for being a welcoming, inviting, safe space that I felt very comfortable bringing my daughter for her first con experience.
Right. She even got to play some, I think, an RPG you said today?
Right now she is playing Dragonbane, which is from Free League Publishing, which is a fantasy role-playing game that's a little lighter on the sillier side. It's supposed to be a rules-light game. I have not played it myself, so it'll be interesting to talk to her when she's done to hear her opinion on the game.
Wow.
And my daughter's just as much as a gamer as I am. She's part of the Tabletop Bellhop team. She helps us teach and facilitate local public play events in Windsor as well.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen her picture and so many times playing those games. And I'll pick up a game that Mo has recommended just because I feel like in some ways we have similar taste in some of the games that we like to play. Zensu, I think, was the last time.
Deanna's favorite game. Deanna adores that game.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Zensu. She loves Zensu.
Okay. And I think I saw, what's the latest edition of the Duke? The latest iteration, Centurion. Yes, I saw that on your page too, and I was like, I didn't even know there was a new version of the Duke.
Can I tell a short story?
Please do.
All right, we're at Origins Game Fair. This is another great game convention in Columbus, Ohio, put on by GAMA, the Game Manufacturers Association. So we're at GAMA Expo, and we're walking around, and it's the day before the con. So the main exhibit hall's not open, but the Wednesday before the con, the gaming hall is open. Well, some publishers are really smart and they put their booths in the gaming hall. Queen Games does this, but also Catalyst Games Labs did that. Well, Catalyst Games Lab is mostly known for Shadowrun and Battletech. Well, we go over to their booth, we're walking around, and they also publish the Duke. And Sean's checking out one thing, Deanna's checking out something else. I happen to have a plush Omni-Mech in my hand going, oh my God, they do Battletech plushies, I gotta take pictures. When Deanna hands me a game and just goes, Mo. So I grab this box and I look and it's got a Centurion on the front. It's kind of a red box and I flip it over and I immediately recognize the pieces. The Duke has a very distinct look. And my jaw literally drops like, then I'm like, walk over to Sean. I elbow Sean. I show him the cover. He's like, I flip it over. Oh, you should see his face, right? And then we're like, oh my God. So we're talking about it. And then I apologize. I do not remember the gentleman's name, but one of the reps from Catalyst Game Lab walks over and he's like, oh, you're the Tabletop Bellhop. You guys sell more copies of the Duke than anyone else. Feel free to take that home. So that was pretty awesome. And we have been hooked since. It is Deanna's favorite version of the Duke. Personally, I don't recommend it as a starting point. Learn the Duke first, but once you know the Duke, Centurion is fantastic.
Now, the Duke can be hard to find, but print and play, you could just download it, print it out, tape the little tiles together, and then you'll have it figured out. Yes, Centurion has those formations, and you can move.
The formations, and you move, they theme it, right? It's a Roman game, so of course you have legionnaires that move in formation, and you can form a shield wall, right?
It's one of my favorite games of all time, the Duke. I just think it's great, and it kind of... it was one of the games that sort of rekindled my interest in modern board games, I would say. Back when I played it at a comic convention. At the Ottawa Comic Con was the first time I tried it out. And then, well, I've been hooked ever since. My son and I would bring it with us to soccer practice. And whenever he was waiting, we would be playing the Duke. But that's not what I've played here so far. Yesterday, well, we ran into each other while I was playing Earth. For the first time. I did back Earth with the new expansion, but I've never played that game before.
Yeah, Earth from Inside Up Games. I love Inside Up Games. Connor is going to kill me. I've never played Earth. I've never played. I have a copy. It's in my pile of shame. Unfortunately, as content creators, we have a pile of shame and we have a pile of obligation, and one has to go before the other. That's where I am right now. It's there, and my goal is we have half a day and tomorrow left is to get it played while I'm here. So I have a goal to play Earth sometime today or tomorrow.
Great opportunity. It's one of those, it seems like a popular genre these days to do a nature-themed game with a stack of cards this tall.
I can see it. Yeah, definitely.
You know,
I got to say, Nate, this year, we recently went to Gamma Expo trade show. We were at Adam. Before that, we were at Origins last year. Right now, nature games are hot. Like nature games and cozy, non-confrontational games are what's in. They're the new zombies or the new, I don't even know, whatever, the new farming, the new, farming game.
Yeah.
There are a ton of them right now.
So many of them. The other game I played was not, well, I guess there were some nature-style cards. Have you played Things and Rings?
Yes, I have. That one's from All Play. I played that at a Origins last year. Very interesting because it reminded me of Scott Brady. I think it's Scott Brady's Venn. I might be wrong on that.
Yeah, because it's Venn diagrams.
With Venn diagrams. I found it very similar, but Venn has a really weird style with some really funky art that is not for everyone. And it's a little difficult to play, whereas Things and Rings seem to take some of that same message of a Venn diagram, but do a better job of making it more interactive and more fun.
And it's very scalable in terms of difficulty because the clues have difficulty levels on the back of them, and you can sort.
I didn't even know that. See, someone did a demo. I didn't get to touch the game.
Okay, so there's easy and medium and hard.
Oh, cool.
You could play with 2 rings or the third one, which really makes it complicated to get your cards placed. And I really like the art style on the cards because it looks like a Dr. Seuss style.
Yep.
It was just a lot of, like a fun party game. You're not going to burn your brain out, although every once in a while you're like, where should this card go? And the person who knows the clues sometimes would say, I don't know, is this something, does a straw have 2 holes or 1 hole?
So we're not going to answer that here.
Have some debates.
Yes. My favorite part about that type of game too is I call them get to know each other games. Is the end of the game or the end of the round where you're done, you've scored, whatever, the game's done, but you're like, why did you put that there? And that discussion on, like you said, does a straw have 2 holes or not? That wait, why did you put that? Where did that go here? Or the clue giver going, All right, look, I put this here. Where would you guys have put this? Because I had a hard time with this. I love that interaction at the end of a round of a game.
And we played with all ages. Well, all
Oh, that's
ages.
awesome.
I was the elder statesman, I guess, of the group, but there was a dad with his teenage son.
Awesome.
And so here we are all together playing the game. He was a little shy. The teenager was a little shy at the beginning because we're all strangers.
Oh, yeah.
They were the only ones who knew each other.
Mhm.
And then, and then it just, we all had a good time. And he even was the clue giver
Nice.
at one point, which is a little bit,
That's
you
intimidating,
know,
right?
you're a
Yeah.
bit the center of attention in
Mhm.
that case because you're answering every player's card play
Right.
and deciding where it should go. We were asking one another, like, were you thinking about the pictures when you put that
Yeah,
there?
exactly.
Sometimes it's like, is it made of wood or does it have wood in it? Anyway, what a fun game. Did you get to play any games yesterday?
So I only played 2. Would have liked to get more, but I was so busy walking around and just checking everything out. And like I said, my daughter's first con, I was more concerned about her getting set up. She's played more games than I have already, so good for her. When we got here, she wouldn't leave my side, and eventually I'm like, "I'm sorry, kid, you gotta go on your own." And I went and bought a coffee. So here's a little subtle trick for the parents. I went and bought a coffee, and then I went, "Oh, I'm sorry, I can't go into any of the rooms now because I have a drink. Why don't you just go in? You just go in, look for something." And so I finished my coffee and I go looking around. I'm trying to find her, and I see her with a group of 4 people playing a game, all on her own. And I'm like, "Oh, I'm so proud of you." I didn't say that, but I'm
Yeah.
sitting back and I'm like, "Awesome."
Yeah.
And then a couple times I wandered through the room, see if she was okay. But then later in the night, it was just the 2 of us, and we sat down and we headed to one of my favorite parts of Breakout Con, the play to win games.
Oh, yeah, that's a good
This
idea.
is an awesome thing to do if you're at Breakout Con. Not many cons do this, but you go to the open gaming area and they have a bunch of games on a table. Well, those are all play to win. Everyone who plays the game writes their name down, and then on Sunday, I think it's at 11 a.m., there's a draw, and someone's going to take home all of those games.
Yeah.
So we went to that, and we first played Star Realms Academy. Now, I love Star Realms. Have you
Yeah.
played Star
I
Realms?
played Star Realms, years and years
Yeah.
ago. It's been a long time.
It's still good.
Yeah.
It's still good. The latest edition is called Frontiers, and it comes with 4 players,
Oh.
and you can play cooperatively or competitively. But that's not what this is. Star Realms Academy is a beginner deck builder game aimed at younger kids.
Oh, nice.
And unlike Star Realms, there's only 3 factions. You only have a 3-card hand. Your health is tracked with counters, and your money is tracked with little counters. So you play a card for 3 money, you put 3 money on your thing. You do your whole turn, then you go shopping. So it's simplified. I mainly played this to see if it would be good for our public play events because we sometimes get some younger kids out to our events. And it's hard for me. My game collection is for older people in general, or for very young because my kids save some of their games as kids. So we played that. And it's good for what it is. If you're a long-term Star Realms fan, I apologize to say you cannot mix the cards because I want to because the art is so cute. Like, if nothing else, you need to go see it just to look at the
Yes.
art of these
I will
cards.
go take a
Like the
peek.
blob mothership that looks kind of like a whale. Like, it's absolutely amazing.
Mm.
So we played that, and then after that, we sat down and we played, I think it's Mackie Master from Kids Table Board Games, KTBG. That is I don't know the best way to describe it. You're drafting sushi ingredients, putting them out on a tatami mat grid, and then trying to match recipe cards and roll up your sushi to get points. And you can do it in any order. So it's got a mechanic that's similar to Rec Raiders, which is also from Kid Table Board Games, where you're doing set collection where you get a bonus if you do things in order, but you don't have to. I really like that because for kids, it opens up the options.
Mhm.
And plus, it makes it so the parents will always try to go in order where the kids can kind of just play and still have fun.
Handicapping a little
Yeah,
bit.
exactly.
Yeah.
And there's more to it. There's action cards you can get, and they have the Kickstarter Deluxe Edition. It's so awesome. It's got these trays to hold everything and little tiny teacups. Oh, I want to win that just because it's the Kickstarter version with the really nice stuff. But yeah, Gwen and I played that. She destroyed me in Star Realms, and I beat her in Mackie. So we're 50-50.
Okay, well, you're going to have to play some games today
Yeah,
to
we
see if
are.
you can figure out what the tiebreaker is.
There we go.
I managed to sneak my way in. There was a long lineup for the bring and buy
Oh,
today. Yeah, so if you don't know anything about Breakout and the Sheridan Centre Hotel in Toronto, it's 2 big towers. And at the very far end of one of those towers is the bring and buy auction. The lineup was all the way to the other tower.
oh yeah.
Now, things moved very quickly once it opened up because I went right at the beginning just because that's where my time was. And I managed to snag, you know what I got?
What'd you get?
The deluxe Kickstarter version with the neoprene playmat of
Rising Sun?
Collab.
Ooh, nice.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I played Collab last year. In fact, the designer, Jonathan Gilmore Long, showed us how to play the game. What a fantastic game. So I'm super excited. Now I have my own copy, and it's the Kickstarter version, which is hard to find.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
Can I tell another story?
please do.
All right, it's Breakout Con. It's this room, which is just coincidental, okay? This room was for designers to share out their games and publishers. So I'm walking around, I'm going back and forth, and I see someone has Dinosaur Island set up and has the rule book open. And I am a board game teacher. It's part of what I do. One of the things I like to do here at Breakout Con is to wander around the board game open gaming area, find people that look lost and help them play their games, and drop a business card, and then they can check us out if they want. So it looks like they're struggling playing Dinosaur Island. So I come in and I offer to help teach. The gentleman looks up, he says, "Sure." So I help teach the game. Then I leave, and it ends up that was a scheduled event. It was a group of people playing Dinosaur Island with the designer, Jonathan Gilmore. That was my first experience meeting Jonathan in person, where I stepped over him to teach his games. So
He made.
So yes, that's so it was an amusing first experience meeting Jonathan Gilmore, a wonderful gentleman.
Yeah.
And great game designer.
He is a good guy and gracious. You know, he was going to leave his only copy of the game with us because he had to go somewhere else. And he was like, well, you just hang on to it. And whenever you're done, just put it under that table over there. Like such a cool guy, nice guy. So I haven't seen him this year. I don't think he's here this year.
I haven't seen him.
That was last year, but I've got his game now.
That's nice.
It's upstairs in my room. So
That is awesome.
yeah, so super enthusiastic about that. So my next event that I'm heading off to is one I'm not even sure I'm allowed to talk about. There might be an NDA.
Is this
that I
the
have to
Eric
sign.
Lang?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going at 5.
Okay.
So you're doing the 2
I'm gonna
session.
do
I'm
it.
doing the 5
I'm
o'clock
gonna
session.
do it first.
Eric Lang is showing off something new.
We don't know
That's
what
all
it
we
is.
know.
We don't even know if we're allowed to talk about it.
No, that's all we know.
We might have to edit this part of the video. I don't.
That's true.
I haven't signed an NDA yet. I don't know what's going to happen. And then after that, I'm going to play I think it might be my first time ever playing a role-playing game with people I don't know.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
I'm going to play the Monty Python co-curricular medieval reenactment.
Yes, that is not a role-playing game.
Okay.
And they're very clear about that in the book. They did not produce a role-playing game.
It's an educational simulation.
Yes, of the very accurate medieval period in British history.
Yes, as depicted in the Holy Grail.
Yes, and other Python references.
I'm very much looking forward. I'm a big Python fan, so I'm very much looking forward to that one. I backed it on Kickstarter, mostly for Fetch La Vache, which is like a mini game within the game with catapults and cows.
Catapults, cows, and a backgammon board.
Yes.
Yes.
Indeed. What are you playing today?
I have no idea. I don't schedule that much at cons. Oh, it depends what con it is. Some cons I'm very scheduled. This one I wander around. Like I said, my favorite thing to do is wander around the open gaming hall and help people out. Bringing by we'll probably do. Like I said, my daughter's busy till 4, so I'm run into people like Brian, and he asked me to be on his show. So
Here we are.
here we
They
are.
do have one of the things, if you've never been to a con like this before, in the open gaming hall, I really like this. And I've seen it now that I've been to a couple of cons. I've seen it a couple of times where they have signs on standees that say, looking for players, experienced players or beginner players, looking for teachers.
Yep.
That's the sign this guy's looking for, no
Exactly.
doubt.
I've been thinking about carrying one around
Oh.
just in case. So I admit I don't know every game in there, not even close, but there are quite a few that I do know.
You are an experienced gamer, no doubt. Now, if people had questions or wanted to get in touch with Moe, how would they do such a thing?
All right, the best place to find me is just go to the website. It's really easy. It's tabletopbellhop.com. That's it. Tabeleta. I can't even spell my own name. tabletopbellhop.com.
It is.
If you want to email me, you can do that, mo@tabletopbellhop.com. And like I said, we are the Dear Abby for gamers. If you have specifically a game or game night question, it would be questions@tabletopbellhop.com. All over social media, Tabletop Bellhop, one word. And like, I'm here for you. Please ask anything about the industry, anything about specific games, anything about game recommendations. That's what we do. We pride ourselves on our game knowledge and wanting to spread it to other people, because what people don't realize about board games is it's a smaller niche and a smaller industry than people realize. And everyone in this industry is awesome, and it's very much a rising tide lifts all boats thing between all of us. Like here, Brian and I collaborating. We were in here earlier watching a live recording of the Ludology podcast. There are world famous game designers that just walk by
Yeah.
while you're here. And we all know each other. We all talk to each other. It's pretty awesome. Like I do not know an industry with this much camaraderie and companionship and ambassadorship.
As opposed to competition.
Yeah.
Nobody's, trying to snipe anyone or cut them off at the ankles.
No, exactly.
It's it's a fantastic. This is a friendly place to be.
It is.
It's a friendly industry for the most part, I would say.
For the most part, there are exceptions, but what I like to say is everyone wants their piece of the pie. But the problem is the board game industry is not a pie. It's a smorgasbord with new dishes coming out every year in the tune of 5,000 to 7,000 new games.
Wow. So, fantastic analogy. If you have any questions or comments for me, or if you want to know how to spell Tabletop Bellhop, you can leave a comment in the comment section below this video, or you can email me at brian@brainsongames.ca. Brainsongames.ca is the website. That's where future episodes will go. Previous ones are already up there. Brains on Games is the X handle and the Blue Sky feed and the Facebook page and the Instagram feed. So we're all over the place. And if you enjoyed this video and you want to be notified of future ones, especially the breakout ones, you can head on over to YouTube and click that subscribe button. Thanks for joining me. Hopefully we'll see you next time.